Welcome! And in this video, I am doing an art collaboration with Anna over at the YouTube channel called RosemaryCat5. And I will link her channel down below. And our collaboration is having to do with mythology. And I will be doing, this will be a time-lapse speed paint of the goddess that I'm depicting, and it's my own personal version of the goddess that I'll tell you about in a couple minutes. And I'm using iPad digital art, and I use and in this artwork I am using only the app Procreate, which is a really great app. It's highly rated and does not cost that much money, and it's really highly rated for the iPad. Many professionals use Procreate. So I'm not going to explain too much about what's going on with my artwork until I'm done telling you the myth. So the way our collaboration is going to work is that I have chosen a goddess to depict, and Anna has as well. And then while our artwork is being shown in time lapse, we are going to retell the myth for that particular goddess. Now, the goddess I chose was Mother Earth, and I am depicting Mother Earth in my own creative way, and she is going to be doing the goddess. Just a minute, I have to get this. Britomartis, if I'm saying that right. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. She will be doing the goddess Britomartis, who was friends with the goddess Artemis, and she will retell a myth that relates to that goddess, and I'm going to retell a myth that relates to how the concept of Mother Earth started. And I am going to read it. So Gaia was the goddess of the earth. She was one of the primordial elemental deities, born at the dawn of creation. Gaia was the great mother of creation, of all creation. The heavenly gods, including, were descended from her through her union with Uranus, which was the skies. Then the sea gods were created from her union with Portos, who was the sea. And the giants were created with her mating with, bear with me with these Greek words, they're hard, Tartaros, which was the pit, and the mortal creatures born directly from her earthly flesh. Gaia was the chief amongst of the heavenly gods. First, she rebelled against her husband, Uranus, which was the sky, who had imprisoned several of her giant sons within her womb. Later, when her son Koros defied her by imprisoning these same sons, she sided with Zeus in his rebellion. Finally, she came into conflict with Zeus, for she was angered by his binding of her Titan sons in Tartaros. She she birthed a tribe of giants, and there's a Greek word for it. It's called giantus, but we're going to say it in English it's giants. And later the monster. I have to turn the page. I'm sorry. Please bear with me. The monster Typhoeus. Please, Blair. Okay, to overthrow him, but both failed in their attempts. In the ancient Greek cosmology, Earth was conceived of as a flat disk encircled by the river Okeanos, or which is also how we get the word of ocean, and encompassed above by the solid dome of heaven and below by the great pit or inverse dome of Tartaros. Earth supported the seas and mountains upon her breast. In Greek vase paintings, Gaia was often depicted as a buxom, matronly woman rising from the earth, inseparable from her native element. In mosaic art, she appears as a full-figured woman reclining on the earth, often clothed in green, and sometimes accompanied by troops of carpi, which are the horai and seasons. Okay, I guess depiction often depicted with her with the seasons. So thank you for bearing with me on and having me read through that. When you go over to Anna's channel, you're going to see she is really smooth on retelling it, and I don't even think she reads it because she's very much into mythology. And the way I got inspired to do this was because I visited her channel and was impressed on her retelling of these myths while she was creating her artwork. So I'm going to let music play just for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and give you a little rundown and summary of how I'm doing this digital artwork. Okay, in my creative depiction of this, of Mother Earth, I'm showing her with all four elements. So in her hair, I'm attempting to depict fire. Then there you see in her abdomen is earth. And the tree could also depict, be symbol for earth. At the bottom, where you see the blue, like that, supposed to be water, symbolic of water. And then air is just all the negative space around the image. So water, fire, air, and earth was just my idea of depicting these four elements with her. And you can see all the digital, there's many digital paintbrushes and pencils and markers that can be used, and pattern makers. Here I start with this idea of adding a lighter color in between the branches, but I kind of decide I don't like that texture. It is kind of like a cotton fuzzy texture, and I kind of decide I'm going to go with a different approach in a few minutes, with an airbrush approach right there. So there I did change it to the airbrush approach in between the branches. And this is a really nice pattern maker. So it's actually a paintbrush, but it paints in a pattern like that. And then I decided to change that gray background to that shade of blue, which I thought worked a lot better, I mean. And here, there's a really cool brush where it actually does glowing flame, and it's hard to get at different colors. It basically shows up as yellow, but I'm trying to add more orange into it. But I like how it does create a glowing flame-like effect. And I really like how on the iPad you can zoom up. You can see I'm zooming it up whenever I need it bigger. I can zoom out and zoom in just with the pinching of the using your fingers, either pinching out or pinching in. I'm almost near the end of this, where I added just a few more touches. I'd add some stars and decide which kind of stars I'd like to put in. I play with different star effects, which is another one of the effects that you can use. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy this and watching Anna's video over at her channel. Please check her channel link down below, RosemaryCat5. And please thumbs up this video. Thank you so much. Thumbs ups are so important. They're the end all and be all for YouTube videos. And these are close-up shots of different parts of the Mother Earth that I've created. And please check out my playlist that I have of other art digital tutorials.